Testing, 1, 2, 3. Why am I in the corner? I'm struggling. Better? I'll get a little bit offset this. Do you guys hate this? I don't like this. Alright, everybody. School is back in session. Oh, sorry, technical difficulty. Oh, my dog's just perked up from that. What if I told you that I don't really care about what your imaging studies say? Actually, I do care, but only to a certain extent. Because what if I told you your MRI studies actually cannot explain your pain? Let me explain. I know you got the scan, you see the herniation, you see the disc bulge, the degeneration. The radiologist report sounds and look scary. I get that. And you thought, finally, here's the proof. Here's the reason why my back has been hurting. But here's the thing. Millions of people have the same finding on their MRIs with no back pain. None. Nada. So, if it's not your disc, what is it? A landmark study published in the New England Journal of Medicine did MRIs on 98 people. And what they found, did MRIs on 98 people with no symptoms whatsoever. And guess what they found? 64% of those 98 people had disc abnormalities. What that means is 2/3 of the people with zero pain had either bulging disc, herniation, or visible degeneration in the spinal tissues. Another study followed people for 7 years, and the findings on their MRI scans were not predictive of whether they will develop back pain or not. People with the longest duration of pain also didn't have the greatest degree of abnormalities on their scans. Systematic review is basically a research paper that put many research papers together, looked at imaging in asymptomatic population, meaning a population of people who do not have any low back pain symptoms across all ages. By the age of 50, disc degeneration was found in nearly 90% of that population without any symptoms, and disc bulges were present in over 70%. So think about that a little bit. The thing that your doctor is telling you that is causing you pain is present in the majority of people who feel fine, no pain. Here's a question. If your MRIs look bad, but plenty of people with the same finding but have no low back pain whatsoever, what is actually going on? I believe it is true that when you have low back pain, the tissue around the back, it's problematic. It is a tissue problem, but it's not just a tissue problem. When you're dealing with especially chronic low back pain, it is more of a behavioral pattern problem than a tissue problem. It is about how you move habitually, how you live, and what you're asking your body to do. Think about someone who sits hunched at the desk for 10 hours a day because that's the nature of their job, barely moving, and then on the weekend decided to help a friend move heavy furnitures, heavy lifting, twisting, bending in awkward position, not understand the correct mechanics when it comes to lifting something heavy, and boom, the back goes out. Many people would tell me, physical therapists, that they have a disc bulge from lifting over the weekend or deadlifting, or one specific incident that would cause this. And maybe the MRI also supports that claim as well. But here's the reality. The MRI may look the same years ago too. Your disc degeneration, your herniation might have been there for months, if not years. What actually happened was that your body wasn't trained and prepared to tolerate that much load capacity. Or think about somebody who is always stressed, rushing through life, never recover, never sleep well, always tight, always tense. Their nervous system is always on high alert, and their muscles is constantly braced. Eventually, those overworked tissues, overworked nervous system is going to start screaming at you. Everything is going to be extra sensitive. Your joints and your muscles are going to start getting aggravated very easily with whatever that you want to do. Your pain didn't come from the disc. Your pain didn't come from just a tissue or one incident. It came from an accumulation of behavior patterns that you've lived your life with. You know what I mean. So again, not just a tissue problem, but it is a behavior problem. What do most people do? They go get a massage, they go see a chiropractor, they stretch, they rest, they take a break from the gym, and it feels good temporarily. Heavy on the temporarily, because the pain will come back within a week. Maybe you're lucky, 2 or 3 weeks. But then, and you're frustrated. You don't know when the pain's gonna go. By the time it gets on for way too long, you're just like, I'm old, I can't do anything about it, and I'm just gonna have to live with this pain for the rest of my life. You don't have to live with your pain, but you have to put in the work, the right work. Now, passive treatments like that are helpful in terms of relieving some tension, restoring some motion, but none of those things retrained your movement pattern. None of those things retrained your habits and behavior. And none of those things prepares you to handle the load that you want your body to be able to handle. You go back to the same desk, go back to the same posture, the same stress, the same movement patterns, and your body breaks down again. It's a cycle. Until you break that cycle, it's just gonna keep happening. It's like putting a Band-Aid on a cut that you keep reopening, but you know that the Band-Aid isn't the problem. The problem is your shitty knife skill, you know? All right, here's the framework or concept that I wish everybody with and without pain understood. And this is what actually explains most of the chronic pain. I talked about this concept a little bit more in the last video, but the concept, it's just load capacity. How much your body can handle currently, which is the capacity, and the load that you want to introduce your body to. When the load exceeds the capacity, that's when breaking down happens, that's when pain happens, that's when overuse injuries happen. Now here's what most people do and what most traditional physical therapy clinics do is they reduce the load. They reduce the loading to match the current capacity. Hence, your body reduces inflammation, also reduces. But then, when you want to jump back into your regular life, jump back to the intensity that you want to hit, your body is going to start freaking out again. I said it in the previous video. It is the second you go back to your normal life, back to work, back to gym, back to your sport, the load goes right back up. And because of your capacity is still in the same place, you will get re-injured. The pain comes right back. You didn't fix the problem, you just delay it. What you actually need is to build capacity. And how do we do that? We train your body to handle the load that you want it to handle through progressive exposure, graded training. We strip your entire program to the bone and start building from the foundation up. We need movement retraining where it needs. How are your squat looking like? How are your deadlift looking like? How are your Bulgarian split squats looking like? How is everything looking like? If there's any leak in energy, we're fixing that. We're retraining the movements. And once that foundation is nice and solid, that's when we reintroduce slowly to build strength, resilience, and tolerance over time with graded exposure and progressive training. Proper progressive training. Not avoiding things that hurt, but you need to break things down to the point where your body, your current capacity can handle, and you start building from there. Learning how to do better and slowly increases capacity in order to handle it better. That's how you create a lasting change. So what does it look like in practice? It means that you have to be aware of your current habits, of your current movement patterns. How are you moving about throughout the day? Do you sit a lot or do you stand a lot? How do you stand? Do you stand with your hip pushed forward, or do you stand, which is anterior pelvic tilt? Do you clench your butt a lot? Do you hold your breath a lot? Those things, those patterns, you have to be aware of it in order to change it. Build awareness. And then it means building strength and capacity in a smart and progressive way with intention behind exercise selections, and not just random exercises being slapped and dabbed together, but training specifically to your goal and for the demands of your life. It means addressing your lifestyle and habits. Go back to our previous point of being aware of your patterns at home, at work. Find the sources where it makes your symptoms worse and address them. Change them one at a time. Not all of them at a time, because the changes won't stick. Pick one, change one at a time. Your stress, your recovery, your sleep, your habits, adding movement breaks here and there throughout work hours if you have to sit or be in front of the computer for a long time. When I say breaks, it doesn't have to be a 5-10 minute break. It can literally be a 1 minute break where you roll out your shoulder, roll your neck a little bit, move your spine through Jefferson curls, just that. Add some movement. I promise your back is going to thank you. Changing all of that, it's important because they all affect your training and how your body responds to load. The better your body is able to handle the load, the less likely it is at risk for pain and injuries. And it means having an ongoing support, either through your own pep talk or have somebody else who's able to watch how you move, being able to fix your program and be there to support you and motivate you to make sure the changes actually stick. And one last important point is that this isn't going to be a 6-week fix. I know 6 weeks is a long time, but consider how long you've been moving like this. It's going to take some time, it's going to take consistency, and it is going to take work from you to make the lasting changes, to actually improve your low back pain, to actually improve your movement patterns and your ability to train and participate in activities. But it is going to be the work that actually gets you out of pain and keeps you out of pain. So if you've been stuck in a cycle of temporary relief and followed by the pain coming back, this is your sign to try something different. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please like, share all the YouTube stuff you know how to do, and I'll see you in the next one.